What's good? This is Joe Miller, and you are listening to The Joe Show. It is the 16th of December. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to hop into this first episode of the podcast. It's 2018. That's an even year. That's a good year. And we're in December. Christmas is almost here. We're just all in the moods right now. And it's actually 12. It's almost 1 a.m. and we're recording a podcast. I think I'm keeping my parents awake, to be honest. We're all the way in the basement. We're in the basement studio right now recording The Joe Show. Anyways, welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast. I hope you're listening, doing something fun maybe while you're listening. Or you're just hanging out, relaxing, listening to my horribly soothing voice. We've got tea here, so hopefully that'll help with my rasp. It's green tea. If you've never had tea before, I'm going to immediately push you to go out to the store, keep listening to the show, go to Ingles, go to Publix, go to Piggly Wiggly. I don't know where you live. Go get green tea. It'll save you. It'll change your life. This isn't a show about green tea. I believe that I am an advocate, and I believe that people need to know why green tea is so effective. Why the monks drink it. Can you imagine if everybody drank green tea? We'd all be monks at this point. We'd all be meditating every night. That's a little aside. We're not going to be talking about green tea the entire show. I don't think that would be very fascinating, but maybe it will. Maybe we'll get into tea and all that jazz and how to be a monk on another episode. But this is the first one. I'm going to introduce you to myself. Who the fudge is Joe Miller? I am a 20-year-old man, not a woman, and I'm not a dog. I'm a man, and I currently live in Georgia, just outside of Atlanta on the north side. Hashtag Migos in this B. We're going to be talking about all sorts of things on the show. I am fascinated by basically everything. I think I learned how to podcast in like a day and a half, so we're going to be learning all sorts of stuff, and I'm just going to be sharing my thoughts and talking with you guys about who knows what, green tea, being a monk, podcast, and we're talking about science, TV, Through the Wormhole. Who's seen Through the Wormhole? That show is mad. Blows my mind, yo. Okay? We're going to be talking about just about anything under the horizon, anything under the sun. And even though the sun is not up right now, we're going to be breathing it in. We're going to be breathing in that sunshine. I'm going to be trying to spread some joy, trying to spread any bit of happiness and entertainment I can possibly get through a mic. You know, why not? What? Just come along. Join me on the Joe Show. We're going to hop into it with the first segment. We're going to be doing a few topics at the beginning of the show every time. Who the fudge is that? Will be our first topic every show. If we have a guest, if I decide not to be hyper lonely like I usually am. I don't think I've had a social interaction in the last 5 months except for my therapist and my psychiatrist and the neurologist, but besides that, if we can just figure out how to talk to people for once, maybe we can get somebody on the show, and that's when we'll have to say, who the fudge is that? And I guess the only reason I said it on this one is because you guys don't really know me. So, the next topic that we'll be doing throughout the show is whose birthday it is today. It's not my birthday, I'll tell you that. My birthday is on July number 10, numero diez. So it's going to be a little bit of time before we get to my birthday on the celebrity birthday list. But we're going to be going to a site called Famous Birthdays is the site we'll be inhabiting for the next bit of time. I think it's fun just to see whose birthday it is. You guys might not think so, but I've always been fascinated with just like whose birthday it is. I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. And maybe you guys know some of the people that I don't know. I generally don't know many famous people. I just pulled it up, and I don't think I know any of these people, sadly. Like, that's, and I think that's kind of strange. Maybe there's like some days that in general just there aren't a lot of famous people. But then again, what is famous? Am I famous? Am I famous for being telepathic? Am I famous for being on this podcast? And yes, I did just say telepathic. Believe it or not, I communicate with people in my mind. And that's not a lie. I am a superhero, alive and well, and I'm also a dumbass. So you can figure those out for yourself. I'm looking at the site right now, December 16th. I have no idea who these people are. Oh, I do know one, though. Jesse Lingard. He is a soccer player. He plays for... I believe he plays for Manchester United. I'm pretty sure he used to play for Manchester United like way back in the day. Possibly. Here, let's pull it up on our phone. I'm not quite sure. That man's pretty good. He's kind of a sauce boss on the field. I think he's one of the underrated players in the Premier League. And for anybody who doesn't know, the Premier League is the English soccer league. You know, Manchester United and Ronaldo. Well, Ronaldo doesn't play in the Premier League. He used to. So people like that, Wayne Rooney, if any of you watch soccer, you know what's going on. But Jesse Lingard, he is I wonder how old he is today. Let's take a little look. It is his birthday, and he does play for Manchester United FC. Okay, you can't forget the FC football club. He's 5'9". He's like my height. Okay, everybody, do you think I could play soccer? Do you think I could play pro soccer? Maybe you've seen me play some soccer. I don't know. No, maybe so. I think I'm kind of saucy on the field. Like, I got the agility and the speed. I don't think I can really score, which is kind of important. Maybe like defense. Maybe I could be a good defensive player. I think I played like 2 seasons of soccer way back in the day. I'm 20 now, and I played soccer when I was like 13 or 14 or something like that. I had the coolest shoes, you know, and like I was basically the best on the team. And I played defense the most. That's probably because I was bad. I'm not really sure. Anyways, happy birthday to Jesse Lingard. Oh, his birthday was on the 15th. That was yesterday, but we'll count it here. Maybe we can also look at the 16th birthdays. Jesse Lingard, though, 26 years old, from Warrington, UK. Who all lives in the Warrington, UK area? That's kind of neat. Never really heard of Warrington. Maybe we'll go there someday and meet Jesse Lingard. Looks like it's near Liverpool, if any of you know. That's also a famous soccer team, Liverpool. But happy birthday, Jesse Lingard. Let's see who else. I think it's actually kind of funny because this website includes YouTube stars. I don't know. I just think that's kind of interesting, like how YouTube has actually created a lot of famous people these days, which is kind of cool. I don't know this person, Josh Norman. He's a football player. I don't really watch football, which is kind of sad for a lot of people. Probably. I don't know. I don't like football. Let's talk about that. Football's probably my least favorite sport. Obviously American football, not soccer. American football, I don't know. If you've ever seen Adam Ruins Everything, he does a special on why football is really, really not great. And basically, he explains how people just get injured the whole time, and there's not really anything special about it, in my opinion. If you watch a whole game of football, which is like 2 to 3 hours, there's only like 8 minutes of actual play, and I'm not just trying to sit there and watch commercials all day, so I don't really like it. If you have NFL Red Zone, if any of you people, you new people, I guess you're all new people. If any of you new people know what NFL Red Zone is, I watch that occasionally because it's kind of interesting, seeing people score all the time. Who doesn't like people scoring all the time? But that's kind of why I don't really watch football. I watch real football, soccer, a good bit. Who else? Anybody? What's your team? My team's Arsenal. The Gunners, for absolutely no reason. I like them. Probably because I play them on FIFA, because they're always like a 5-star team, which is the best team, or like the best level team. So obviously I want to win, so I just play them, and I think now I'm just a fan. I don't know if that's how it works. I think you have to be from the place to be a fan of them. So I guess I'm technically an Atlanta United fan, which is the Atlanta soccer team. And surprisingly, they just won the MLS, like the entire playoffs, which is crazy because they literally just formed the team in 2017. It's 2016. And it's 2018, so it's crazy. It's only been like 2 years. It blew my mind that they actually won and got to the finals. And I kind of knew the whole time, like, they were good the last season, 2017, but they just came out blazing in 2018. They were dominant. From the beginning of the season, they were just at the top. And it might be because of their players are just really good and underrated. Because in the way it works in soccer is the smaller teams usually lose all their good players because their good players will be bought. And soccer, honestly, is kind of bad in that way, where all the good teams have a lot of money because they win all the time and they have lots of sponsors and stuff like that. So they win all the time and just buy the best players. So what will happen with Atlanta United, which sucks, oh gosh, sucks so bad. What will probably happen is all our good players will be bought because they're just really good, and we got them. Atlanta United got them for a cheap price, or I guess relatively cheap, and the players have just been performing phenomenally. So some of the players might go to England, which is a technically better league. Europe leagues are generally a better league. A lot of them probably go to Europe. Some of them might be bought out, go to other MLS teams for more money, which, oh gosh, it just kind of sucks like that. If they just stayed together, they could keep winning, right? They might go back-to-back MLS champions, and they've only been a team for like 3 years. That would just blow my mind. But I was watching that game. It was on, a week ago or something. Oh man, I was losing my mind. I was jumping around. I was doing jumping jacks and push-ups the whole time. Oh, it was just a great game to watch. And a lot of you might not like soccer. I don't think many people in America like soccer because it's kind of slow in general. Like, not many goals like football or something like that. So, a lot of people don't watch it, but it's kind of growing in the U.S. The MLS has gotten a lot bigger in the past decade or so since the MLS Cup has been around. I think that I'm not actually sure when the MLS was started. Let's look it up. When was the MLS started? Because they were saying, I believe, that the MLS started in 2000 around there, but I'm not quite sure which would be kind of crazy because the MLS has picked up a lot of speed. And I think it's because people in America are starting to realize, it's the real football, okay? None of that American football crap, all right? The MLS, let's see, I just pulled it up. Good old Google that shit. The MLS was founded in 1993, which is not that long ago. It's 2018 now, and that's not that long. So it's really neat how soccer's starting to pick up. It's actually it's weird to say, but it's fun to be alive and a fan of soccer while it's happening, because it's cool to see a sport pop in a country. And America's so big, there's so many people, and so many people like sports in America. It's just really, it's a fun thing to kind of follow and watch. And especially Atlanta United's team. I would never have known, but there's so many fans of the team. Maybe because we're good and we win a lot, or maybe because there's a lot of soccer fans. I'm not really sure, but you see a lot of people going to the games, and they actually set the record for the most attendance in the MLS, period, in the history of the MLS, which is just crazy to me. Atlanta does have a very big stadium, which they also use for football. The Atlanta Falcons play there. I'm not sure if that's any effect. It probably is. But that's insane. A 2-year-old, 3-year-old team set the record for the most attendance. I mean, that just kind of shows how much soccer is blowing up in the U.S. And it's, like I said, really fun to watch. But that was a little aside. Happy birthday to Jesse Lingard, though. And I think I did see another soccer player on here, Keylor Navas. Where is he at? Keylor Navas. Yeah, he's a really good soccer player. I think he's the Brazilian. He's the he's the Costa Rican goalkeeper. Yeah, he's 31 years old. He's a Sagittarius. If you think that's interesting. Oh gosh, they have popularity stats. What the heck? He's the number 1 soccer player in Costa Rica. Yeah, jeez. I'm not gonna be reading the stats. Who honestly cares? If I know them, they're popular, right? they're cool if Joe Miller knows them. Apparently he's been playing soccer for ever. And he currently plays for Real Madrid, which is, in soccer, a lot of you probably don't watch soccer, but Real Madrid is just, they're the team. They're the super team. They're the team that has all the money, and they always go out and buy the best players. Ronaldo used to play for them. Keylor Navas plays for them. Karim Benzema, Gareth Bale, all the big names really kind of at some point go and play for Real Madrid, which kind of sucks because they just kind of buy players from other teams and just pay them, but that's all right. I'm sure Keylor's having a really good time winning all the time. Actually, I think this season Barcelona's winning, but I'm gonna stop with the soccer. I'm talking a little bit too much about soccer here. I do really like soccer, but I haven't really been watching it that much, which is kind of sad. I don't know why. I do know why. It's because it comes on Saturday and Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. and I am dead asleep at 10 a.m. Which actually leads me into what our next topic's going to be, which is about dreams. If you can imagine that. I'm going to be going over some of my crazy ass dreams, because if any of you know what lucid dreaming is, that's what we're on. We are literally creating dreams while we sleep. We have complete control, or at least we're trying to. So basically I'm having some crazy ass dreams every night. I'm gonna tell you guys about them because they're kind of fun. They're actually kind of fun. They're never really terrible dreams. They're usually pretty cool. So that'll be our next topic. But back to the birthdays. Oh God, I love birthdays so much. Happy birthday to all these people. There's so many YouTube stars. It's crazy. Callum Markle. I don't even know him. Flame Smart. What? There's like Instagram stars on here. Apparently, the politician Nero. If you know anything about Nero, he died today? No, he was born today. Oh wow. He was a Roman emperor of the Julio Claudian dynasty from 54 to 68. Imagine, okay, y'all. Imagine being alive during 50. Just 50. Like it's your birthday and you're like, oh yeah, it's December 12th, or I mean December 15th, 50. That would be so cool. I don't know why. That would just be kind of cool. He was like almost alive when Jesus was alive. That's like crazy. Oh, cool. They got like trivia facts on here. Oh, that's horrible. Oh my gosh. The first trivia fact is terrible. Oh man, I need some tea for that one. Oh, that's morbid. That's morbid. Nero, why? Oh man, apparently Nero executed his mother, Agrippina, and was also implicated in the murder of his stepbrother, Britannicus. Jeez, that's like, oh my gosh. So I guess we found out today that Nero's a pretty horrible, horrible dude. He's a pretty horrible, horrible dude. Maybe he's like Julius Caesar or something. I don't think he was a very nice person. Like, execute your mother and stepbrother? Like, what is this man thinking? Who would even do that? Like, Agrippina did not deserve that. I don't know Agrippina, but I mean, she just did not deserve that kind of thing. And his stepbrother, his stepbrother might have been a jerk. He might have been a bit of an a-hole. Britannicus. I'm gonna kill you, Britannicus. And Britannicus is like, no, you're not, Nero. You're a little girl. Haha. Well, Britannicus got worked. He definitely got showed that he was just the worst stepbrother, I guess. Yeah, it sort of reminds me of the scene in Step Brothers with Will Ferrell, and when he was being buried alive. Oh man, that movie's so classic, and I don't know why, but I think about that movie constantly. It might be a bit of a problem, but oh man, it's just like such a funny movie. But that's Nero, I guess. Happy birthday to him. He's dead and also kind of a horrible person, so I don't know if he even deserves a shout out. Yeah, so let's see who we got next. Nero is probably not the best person to shout out. Who else we got? Some rappers. Amani, I'm not really sure who he is. Another rapper, John Ankrum. Happy birthday to those people. Oh, Jahlil Okafor. He's a basketball player. If any of you know anything basketball related. I guess I just know a lot about sports. I'm pretty cool. Like, I'm pretty hip, like, with the kids and stuff. Like, know a lot about sports. Jahlil Okafor, I'm pretty sure he's like a huge dude. Like, massive. Like, I guess every basketball player these days is just massive. Played for Duke. He's a center, which basically means he's like a giant. If you didn't know, he's just an absolute giant and like doesn't even have to jump the entire game. It's probably easy, super easy, just to go and play in the NBA. Oh, and it says he played for Team USA to win a gold medal, which is kind of funny because if the USA goes to the Olympics and doesn't win, it's just like, oh my, like, I don't even know if that's ever happened. The USA is just way too good at basketball. Way too good. It's like overpowered, super overpowered. But happy birthday to Jahlil Okafor. And that's I think that's about everybody I know here. Got some soap opera actors. Not really sure. Michelle Dockery. Not really sure. Oh my gosh. Oh my man. This is a gem. Austin Yerger is a You Now actor. He's a You Now star. And if anybody knows what You Now is, oh, I kind of respect you, because I used to be all up in You Now. I used to be streaming on You Now all the time. On D Fizzy, I think that was his name. So You Now is basically Twitch or like a live stream kind of thing where people just get on and talk or do whatever. And I used to go on there for fun all the time, just try and see what's happening. And it was this random YouTuber's category. I don't know why he had a special category for himself. I used to go on there. I met a lot of people. It was pretty fun. And I was gaining popularity. Oh my gosh. I was gaining so much popularity. The people were loving me. And some people would stream for like 3-4 hours. I would get on there, and I was a newbie, and I was like streaming for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Oh man, it was so exhilarating. Oh geez, it was like pure electricity, just getting on there and talking about nothing for 30 minutes. Oh, it was just so great. So it was kind of interesting to see that there's like legitimate You Now stars. That's kind of weird. But I think that's gonna do it for the happy birthday section. Happy birthday to that You Now star, Austin Yerger. You can look him up. This website's just dense. It's just stylists, like how dancers, actresses, Erica Tam. All right, but that's gonna end it for that section. I think that's pretty fun to get through the birthdays, and we're gonna move on to our next topic. And our next topic is, what's the point? What is the point? In this section, in this topic, we are going to talk about what is the point of that. We're going to find a just outrageous thing, and we're going to say, what's the point? And we're going to try to point it out, okay? I don't know what the point is, but we're going to try to point it. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. And for this category of what's the point, and I think it's kind of an interesting one. It's a good one to start off with. It's a good one for the first episode here. And the topic is, what is the point of talking? And why talking is important. This is actually this is like a good one for me, because in reality, if I were to guesstimate how many words I say in an average day, it would definitely be under 10,000. And the average talking like amount, the average words that a man says in a day is like 1,000. No, it's like 4,000. Oh wow. No, I was so wrong. It's 7,000. And and get this, women are 20,000. Oh my goodness. So the topic is why talk to people, and I found I think a decent article. It's why talking is important. It's on healthy families, BC. Not really sure what the BC is about. Oh, it's British Columbia. Oh, gotta love Canada. Gotta love what they're doing about why to talk to people. Yeah, so I'd probably talk or say 1,000 words a day. That's like pretty terrible. And honestly, that's kind of bad. And my first thought when I think about this topic is like, talking kind of like lets you get thoughts out. I guess it kind of lets you express things that bother you sometimes, maybe that you've been thinking about, and sometimes just like not saying those things is bad, because who knows, you might have a brilliant idea. You might be Thomas Edison and have the idea for a light bulb. You might be Albert Einstein, have the idea for the equation for relativity. But if you don't tell anybody, then there's no point. It's sort of like me being telepathic and not telling somebody that I'm telepathic. It's like, doesn't really help anything, does it? It's I can speak to people telepathically all I want, but that doesn't really do anything because I have to express it out loud, and people will respond more to that. And I guess that's kind of my first thought about why you should talk to people in general. It says this. I think this is more about children, but yeah, it says like kind of being along the lines of being open to talking about feelings, which I also struggle with a lot. Like, if you've ever met me, I'm probably one of the least emotional people you'll ever meet. Kind of dry and like, I don't know. In the past, I've been super negative, and honestly, since I've been doing this single podcast since, what was it, like almost 1 a.m. It's now 1:23. I even feel a little bit more energetic and a little bit more happy. And that honestly might play a little bit of a part in it. Like just speaking any words to anybody. I don't really talk to anybody at all during the day. I just kind of say, hey, hey, what's up, though? What's good with you? And I like to ask a lot of questions, but I mean, maybe part of asking questions is like having a conversation. And when you're talking to people, you start to exchange thoughts, and it gets the other person to talk a lot more too. Like if I had somebody sitting here on this podcast, I would be talking to them and see what their thoughts were, and that might change how I think, and it might change how all of you people will think. And that's solely because that person was speaking, and solely because that person was sharing their thoughts. And this article says to set aside time for talking. So I guess that's kind of what this is. I don't know. What is the point of talking though? What is the point? Is the point to express emotions? Is the point to express ideas? Is the point to help people understand? Is it maybe to get better at talking? Because you never know when you're going to have to get up, give like a big speech or something. You might have a presentation in class or for work, and you're like me, you don't really talk. You talk about 1,000 words a day, which is abysmal. You're supposed to kind of talk about 7,000 or more, and you should honestly be talking probably 10,000 in my opinion. I think 7,000 is a little bit low because you should be above average for a man. And maybe the women speak a little too much, in my opinion. I think 20,000 words is a bit much. I think some ladies talk about 40,000 words a day. That's just insane to me. That's kind of funny. That makes me laffy taffy all day. People talk that much. I don't know how they see this many people in a day to speak 40,000 words. I seriously do not even understand how they meet that many people. Maybe they work at like a bar or something, or like a telemarketer. They're a telemarketer and they're speaking to like potential clients all day. I don't know how you get up that high. I'm speaking like 1,000 words. I think I need to up my game a little bit, but I guess maybe there's three general parts of why you kind of need to speak and talk to people. Because obviously you could get by not saying anything. These days you can communicate through technology super easily. I don't need to talk to anybody in reality. I could just pull out my phone. I could send an email. I could send a text message. I don't even need to call people like in the old days, like in 2005, I don't need to do that. I can literally just pull out my phone and text somebody exactly what I would say over the phone, but that's not really talking, right? That's not saying words. Saying words to somebody shares ideas, share and understanding. It helps people understand where you're coming from, how you feel. Helps them understand how you feel. And also you just get better at talking. And in general, back to the feeling thing, maybe talking, saying talking a whole lot, maybe communicating with people is good because they understand, maybe you're a happy person. And if that's the core of it, you should probably talk more. If it's just to let people know you're fine and you're not struggling and there's not something troubling you, because the more you talk, the more people know how you talk, right? If you say things a certain way, and your parents know this, if anybody, your parents know exactly how you talk. And I'm sure your friends do, your best friends know the certain things, the certain sayings you have. So when you talk to them a lot, they realize these things, and they'll also realize when you don't say these things. And that could help you. Maybe you're feeling bad. Maybe you're feeling really down and weird, or there's something on your mind and you're talking different. That just lets people understand how you're feeling, and it might lead to you getting help like that you seriously need. A lot of people are depressed and they just sit around and don't say anything, and that's the root of the problem. The fact that they don't say anything is the root of the problem. They don't tell anybody why they're messed up, why they feel this certain way, or even simply what they feel. No one's gonna understand. No one's gonna even know what's happening, and that's the problem. It's so troublesome. It's so troublesome because no one else would even know. It's all about talking about it, which is it's just sad. The whole thing is sad about depression, and I'm gonna move on from that. But the feelings is so important. And somebody like me who doesn't have a lot of emotions, like I was saying, probably needs to talk more so people understand more what I'm going through in some ways. And also it's kind of fun just to talk. A lot of people probably get caught up in the fact that they're annoying, or what they're saying nobody cares about. But I say screw it. Like, if you're really that annoying talking just in a regular basis, you need to talk more. You need to get better at talking, because there's something wrong with you. You can't just communicate with people and not annoy them. It's like something you have to practice, and maybe you don't have many friends and you just need to talk in front of the mirror. You need to talk into a podcast like I'm doing. Like, even this could help, because I'm listening to myself. It's talking to somebody. I'm listening. So I guess that's kind of the point of talking, which is kind of interesting. I hadn't really thought about, like, literally how many words you say a day probably affects your mood. Like, I say 1,000 words a day when I should be saying probably 7,000 and at least 4,000. So, one, I might not be talking or seeing enough people. Two, I'm not thinking as much, sharing my ideas. Because when you talk to somebody, you have to think. You're not just going to be able to go up to somebody and say random stuff. A very, very few select people can do that. And those are honestly the people who talk all the time. The people who can just naturally talk, naturally share ideas, are those who have just been talking their whole lives. They're those people who you grow up as a kid and they will not shut up. Those are the kinds of people who can just speak naturally, and when they grow up, I'm not grown up, I'm 20 years old, and I'm still going through it. When I'm 40 or 60 maybe, if I continue on this path where I'm only speaking 1,000 words a day instead of the normal, 7,000, the average, and the average is probably low. There's like monks out there. There's monks out there. There's people who live in desolate areas, and even those people are probably getting in about 7,000 areas. I live in the suburbs. There's so many people around me. I should just go to the coffee shop and try to interact with people or something. And you all should try to do that too. If you notice in yourself some days you haven't really talked that much, you haven't really seen that many people, just, I guess, go out and try and meet some people. Call people on the phone. I'm sure your grandparents would love to talk to you. Your grandparents probably love it. And same with your parents and your friends. If you have any, I don't. Ouch. And that's something I gotta work on. Maybe talking more will get me friends, to be honest. But I think that's what the point of talking is in general. So we are now going to move on to the next topic of the night, of the show, the Joe Show. Can you dream it? Ooh-wee, can you dream it? So I'm going to give a little background. I'm like super into dreaming. Like, it's like the coolest thing ever to me. And what happens every night is I go to bed and I probably dream about 5 times a night, and I'll wake up and then I'll go to bed again and try to dream more. And I just think it's just really fun to see kind of what happens in my head, because eventually, after you've dreamt enough, after you've remembered your dreams enough, you start to remember them consistently. And it's sort of like living a second life, because once you start to remember them, you can just remember it as almost part of your life. And obviously you have to differentiate between, reality and your dreams. But once you get good enough at that, it's sort of like living a second life every night. You can go to bed and still almost be awake and active and doing things. And some people are so good at dreaming that they can go to bed, be in a dream, wake up in the dream. This is what I was talking about, lucid dreaming. They can wake up in a dream and control it. And it's not what you the normal person would think. Like, a lot of people think they lucid dream, but they really don't. They really don't actually lucid dream. Like, a real lucid dream is when you're in a dream and you're like, it clicks. Like, you know for a fact you are dreaming, and you immediately look around and you intentionally change things. A lot of people think, oh yeah, because I'm in a dream, because I'm acting like myself, because I'm talking to people like myself, I'm lucid dreaming, I have complete control. That's not true at all. If you were lucid dreaming while those conversations were happening, you wouldn't be talking. You'd be like, holy shit, I'm in a dream right now. I can do whatever I want. I can go fly, I can go swim. And my point is, once you start to realize that enough, you start to be able to control your dreams and create like huge alternate realities and use what you've seen in real life as inspiration and create this like whole reality. I actually read of some people who make worlds, like this world that they go to all the time when they go to bed. And they go to the world and try to like make new areas, make new dreams, like talk to people. You can talk to like dead people. You could talk to like Donald Trump and like Nelson Mandela or Martin Luther King or something like that, which is pretty cool. And that's kind of why I like dreaming in general. And back in high school, I used to dream, I guess, more consistently than I do now, because what I did was when I woke up, I would write all my dreams down. And what this does is it, for whatever reason, I don't really know, it helps you dream a lot, like a lot. I was starting to remember 5 dreams a night, like 5 full dreams, full separate dreams, like different things happening, like 5 different times, up to 10 dreams, up to maybe like 15. I remember a little bit ago, I remembered at least 10 dreams, and it's kind of crazy sometimes. And what writing it down does is helps you think about the dreaming. Literally, it helps you think about dreaming, not even the dreams themselves, about dreaming. So during the day, you're thinking about dreaming all day, and then when you go to bed, you're still thinking about dreaming, and you might wake up in the dream because you're like, am I dreaming? And these are things called reality checks. People throughout the day, throughout their normal real lives, will do these things called reality checks to just kind of see, like, am I dreaming? Am I living in a dream right now? So that when they're in a dream, they're still acting normal. They're still acting like it's real life, because everybody acts like they are in real life in a dream. That's just kind of how it works. So if they do that and they do a reality check and realize they're in a dream, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm in a dream. This is so cool. I can do whatever I want. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do personally. And recently I've been having lucid dreams. I've been going into a dream being like, wow, I'm in a dream. What can I do? Like, I'm going to imagine something and like teleport somewhere and think about it. So that's kind of the premise in general. That was a bit of a long-winded premise, but that's kind of the premise of this category of the Joe Show, is like, can you dream it? And I'll be talking about dreams in general. I think it's like a super cool thing just to talk about each time. And obviously this category and all the other categories won't be as long every time. This is just because it's the first show that I'm talking about it more than usual. So I'm going to talk about a dream I had the other night, which was pretty cool. It's just a short little thing. And if I have some sort of crazy elaborate story, I'll go through it. If you guys want me to, I'm gonna go through it and kind of explain to you, because it kind of gets crazy. Like, it's kind of cool what happens. I would say I have some pretty interesting dreams, some pretty strange dreams, but I think the most significant thing is that I remember them, and I remember them pretty clearly because I've been actively trying to remember them since high school, and I'm now 20 years old, so it's probably been 5 years since I've been really trying to do it. And obviously I haven't done it every day, but I've picked it up here and there, and it's actually starting to work. Like, since I'm older and my mind is more developed, I think I can realize it more that I'm lucid dreaming. And I read a statistic that said 40 to 60% of people lucid dream every night, which I don't think is true at all. I don't think that many people are waking up in their dreams and controlling them, because in reality, a lot more people will be talking about it if they're controlling their dreams and seeing things and talking to, Nelson Mandela and having like a legitimate conversation with them in a dream. I think a lot more people would be talking about it. So my dream the other night it was scientific. It was actually like kind of crazy. What was happening was I was launched into space, like on a rocket. I don't think I was an astronaut. I think I was just Joe Miller, right? I was just Joe Miller, the alien, the telepathic alien man being launched up into space. And if you know how satellites and rockets work, what you have to do is, to get the satellite into orbit, you have to use thrusters and maneuver the satellite so that it follows the curvature around the atmosphere enough where it will just spin and spin and spin. So what was happening was we were trying to get, as in, I'm not, honestly, I don't really know. It was Joe Miller as the astronaut and my team. We were launched into space and we were trying to get this satellite into orbit. And it was crazy because in space, it's like, if you make wrong moves, like, you're gone, you're done. You're like lost. You're just, see you later, buddy. So I was kind of freaking out. I was the person who had to, use the thrusters and move it into space. And oh my gosh, I just remember while I was dreaming, I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, like I gotta use this thruster and thrust it into the perfect alignment. I remember it was like Interstellar or something. It was like Interstellar, if you remember them trying to line up their spaceship to the space station. They had to like perfectly align it. It was like that. It was honestly just the most suspenseful thing I've ever been a part of, which is funny because it was like a dream. But I was like I was on the control, and I was looking out and I could see the satellite, and I was like using the thruster. I was like, and it go one way. I was like, oh my god, that's way too far, and I had to pull it back like, and pull the other way. And then somehow our spaceship like maneuvered around the satellite, and I was like, I was so lost at this point. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not gonna be able to do this, and I just like had to keep trying, and I kept messing it up every time. Every time it was like, oh god, too far. Have to go back the other way. Oh god, too far. And then I try like putting it another way, and it'd be too far. Oh man, it was just an absolute disaster. And I don't even know if I actually even got it in the right spot. I just remember the whole thing just started spinning around, and it was like, oh gosh, it was such a wreck. And it kind of, and I woke up and I was just like, oh geez, like that was a wreck. I did not do that right. And I was thinking, like, who trained me? Who was the person who trained me as an astronaut to put a satellite into orbit? That was not a mission success. Houston would definitely have problems with my work that happened. Oh man, but it was just an absolute wreck trying to get that satellite to stop moving. Oh man, it was awful. It was so awful. But that was one of the dreams I had the other night. But that's gonna conclude the section. Can you dream it? Maybe that'll give you guys some inspiration for your own dreams. I like going to space if I can in my dreams, because space is just pretty fascinating, and anything can happen in space. There's no gravity. You can float around. It's just black area, kind of black space, so you can just make whatever you want. There's stars, which are like really cool to look at all the time. So maybe that'll inspire you guys. Maybe me talking about this will help you get a lucid dream tonight. Maybe that would be awesome. But that's gonna conclude our section of Can You Dream It? Oh gosh, that satellite is still spinning, I bet. Our show is just about finished here. If any of you kept a like, or butt counter, especially the butt counter, I want to see how many butts we pointed out throughout the show. Please send that my way. I'm fascinated by the statistics involved with the podcast. Butts, likes. That's all we need, right? That's all we need. So go ahead and send those my way if you counted them out, tallied them, whatever. You maybe even programmed a code that counted the amount of likes. How about that? Who out there knows how to do that? Please contact me. That would be incredible. That would be state-of-the-art technology. We need you to get in the laboratory immediately. Okay? But that's gonna conclude our show here tonight. I hope you enjoyed listening along. In future shows, we'll have a guest, and we'll be talking about topics. We'll be talking about what's happening in their life. We'll be talking about what's happening in my life. Stay tuned for a new episode. We are going to be talking about the Sports Illustrated Sports People of the Year, going all the way back to probably 1970. We're going to be picking our top 5, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be fun, and we're going to keep doing happy birthdays. We're going to keep doing what's the point. We're going to keep doing Can You Dream It? So we're going to be doing all 3 of those. We're going to be doing other topics. It'll be probably a bit shorter. This was just a little intro, a little groove, a little jive to get ourselves flowing in it, flowing in the words, flowing in the cast, flowing in the show. So I hope you enjoyed listening to the Joe Show. I hope you all have a great day, great night, whatever. And I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.